Everybody who can squat should squat, and it's always better to squat than not squat. But of course, we don't inhabit a perfect world or perfect bodies, and we have to make modifications to get some people under the bar. If we approach it intelligently and creatively, we can do that. So, get ready to chuck some of your excuses. Hi, I'm Jonathon Sullivan, and welcome back to Greysteel. One of the most common problems we run into when we try to get people to do barbell squats is the issue of shoulder mobility. Holding the bar securely on your back requires a certain normal degree of shoulder, elbow, and wrist mobility. There's nothing extreme about this position, although most people find it a bit tight. But shoulder mobility declines with age and inactivity, and some masters just can't get into this position. Some will grow into it with practice, strengthening the shoulder girdle with the press and the bench and some stretching. But many will not, and it's a mistake to try to force a shoulder beyond mere tightness into actual pain. And we don't have to. We have tools to allow people with shoulder mobility issues to squat, and squat heavy. The most commonly used approach is the SSB, or safety squat bar. These are commercially available from various sources over the interwebs. The concept is pretty simple and self-explanatory. You can hold the bar on your back with hands in front rather than behind. This makes the squat accessible to anybody who can manage this very minimal amount of mobility and who can squat the weight of the bar. That's not everybody, but it's most folks. There are some trade-offs, however. For one thing, the SSB encourages the performance of a high bar squat. That's not terrible, although in the starting strength system we prefer the low bar variant when possible. And with the SSB, the low bar variant is possible, or at least something very much like it. How? Easy. You just lower the bar to the low bar position. Despite what you might think, this position is extremely safe and stable. We use this variant in people from their 40s to their 90s, and nobody's dropped the bar yet. However, this approach requires the addition of a little bit of complexity to the movement. You have to put the bar there and keep it there. This means that you have to put some very subtle English on the handles as you perform the movement. Now, in truth, this requirement obtains even if you're doing a high bar variant with the SSB, because there's a very, very strong tendency for the lifter to pull down on the handles at the bottom. This causes the bar to raise up onto the neck and flex the upper back, both of which are highly undesirable, unacceptable, really. When you squat low bar with the SSB, this is actually less likely, since you have to give some mental focus to keep the bar in the low bar position. With a little practice, you can use the SSB to perform a squat that is mechanically very similar to a low bar squat. It is a low bar squat. There's another complication, and that's that the SSB is usually heavier than a standard bar, and so it requires a minimal level of strength. We haven't found a lightweight SSB bar of the right quality at the right price, but we want everybody to squat, even people who can't squat the SSB. So we use another approach: straps. For this approach, we can use a standard 45-pound bar or even a 10 or 15-pound aluminum training bar. These are commercially available straps that we use for deadlifts or rack pulls. They're also handy as tourniquets for, like, say, a circumcision gone wrong. Ooh, I shouldn't have said that. Anyway, you can take these bad boys and wrap them around the bar, like so. We put knots in these straps for a more secure grip, and you'll want to chalk up your hands as well. The bar sits in the low bar position, and voila. Same issues as with the SSB. You have to control the position of the bar more actively than with the normal low bar grip, and you must resist the impulse to pull down on the straps. One reason to keep them relatively short. If they're short, then you can cue the lifter to keep her fists on her chest wall at all times, which counters the yanking impulse. Another issue with the straps is that you must be careful to center them and the lifter on the bar. And even when you do, there's a tendency for the bar to pitch a bit, so a coach or lifting partner will usually have to stand to one side to help stabilize the bar in the horizontal position, being careful to apply no more force than is necessary to keep the bar oriented. Then, just perform and program the squat as you would for anybody else. The sooner you get to the SSB, or better yet, a standard grip with more mobile shoulders from training, the better. And that's it. Shoulder mobility issues are common, especially with increasing age, but they're no barrier to training the king of exercises. If you have shoulder mobility issues and you've managed to squat, share your story down in the comments. Or try out one of these methods and let us know how it goes. Thanks for watching the Greysteel channel. Our content is for educational and infotainment purposes only and does not constitute medical advice for any particular person, patient, disease, or condition. If you have questions about your health and fitness, you should consult with your physician. Thanks to our Olympic patrons, Laura and James Welcher, and to all the other patrons on Patreon who help make the Greysteel channel possible. A welcome to our newest patrons, Shauna Bourassa, Dave Faubert, and Audra Janke. And a big shout out to our newest power patrons, Dr. Bert Lindsay and Michael McCoig. If you'd like to help us make more videos like this, just go to patreon.com/Greysteel. And whatever you do, don't forget to go to youtube.com/Greysteel and subscribe to our channel. That really helps us out a lot. Until next time, stay strong and stay healthy.